Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Yama Bonsai. Today we will be working on this Yamadori spruce. This was a tree that already one time was exhibited at the trophy a long time ago. This tree now came in for another style because if you see, some branches died off and some branches got very healthy again. What we need to do is we need to make some foliage clouds again, or we need to spread those branches out, and we need to adjust it that everywhere can come in light and air and that we have a style tree again. So if we don't do that, other branches will die off because they are hidden at some points. So today we will do that. We are now in the winter, and this is a good time to work on the species. They're also very flexible and bendable, but you need to take care when there would be any frost or something like that. So what I always do is, like, I put them for one day in the studio, and then the next day I'm going to work on these, and then you can bend them however you want. So what we'll be doing now is we'll be cleaning the old needles, the old branches, cleaning out the dead branches, stuff like that. And we will clean the branches that are growing down and the branches that are growing up. So when we style them, that we can create them into a hand, and we can cut back the stronger shoots. But when we do that, you need to always need to cut back into a bud or something, because if you don't do that, you will get some dieback on it. So that's a very important point as well. So we're going to start on it now, yeah? So I'm start cleaning this tree now. And what I'm doing is I'm going to get rid of all the ugly dead branches and ugly brown foliage. So clean this tree out a little bit. And then afterwards we can use some wire and we can start fanning these branches out, because there are too much branches. A good thing on spruce is that they bud back quite well, so that's a good part. So what I normally look is, when I put this branch into position, and I put it like this, because a branch doesn't always grow like straight. So if you put this like this in position, and then we can see the branches that grow down, and the branches that grow down we can start to cut off as well. And as well the branches that grow on top. This was once wired again, we're going to try not to wire the primary branches. What we will do is we will wire the secondary branches and some of the smaller ones, not all, and then fan everything open, and we will cut back the unnecessary branches. So that's what we will be doing now. So very important when you're working on branches is that when this is your branch, you need to have one over here and one over there, and then other way around again. So here you have two branches on the same side, and one is growing on top of the other one, and it's keeping a lot of light. So that's the one we're going to cut. So now we can put this one in position over here. And this one we will give the same movement, because with this one we will make one foliage cloud. And now we can make a selection and remove the dirty and old needles. In spring they tend to backbud very well, so everywhere where we make a bend they will probably bud as well. So this one was a little bit too long, and I want to make or style or shape it until here, the foliage cloud, so that piece we had to cut back. Also, as you can see, here the needles start to come in. What we try to do is we try to wiggle in, because it's not easy. We try to wiggle in to get the wire between the needles so that they will not crush the needles. Like that. We already wired some branches from the first trunk. So now I'm going to show you what you need to cut. The good thing about spruce or picea is that they tend to backbud very well. So at first, when you already wired the main branch or the primary branch, you can start by cutting off the dead branches. So that's what we're going to do now. As you can see, these branches are quite weak, and here you have like 1, 2, 3 branches. This one is very weak, so this one we can cut. Then, because this will be the primary branch, you have one branch over here, one over here, and then the next should be here, so that's good. Then the next one should be here, then the next one here, so this one we can cut. Then the next one will be here. This one is divided into several branches, so this one we can cut as well. Then this one grows on top. This one
we can use this one as the primary one to get the shape around here. So this one we can cut, so this one is here, then the next branch is here, and this is this branch. Here we need to make a selection, so this one we can cut, and this one we can cut in silhouette. Then here we have this one, or that one. This one is stronger, so this one we can cut. This one is growing beneath, so we can cut this one as well. So we have this one over here, this one here, this one here, and then here. And then you have to check if they're in the same silhouette. That looks quite fine. So then we can do this branch. And you see here we have 1, 2, 3 branches. This one is very weak and on top, so we can cut this one here. This one died, so this one we can cut here. Here's the first one, then the second one is here. So this one we can use over here. And this one grows on top, this one to that side. So this one we can cut here. Then the next one should be here, because here you otherwise have 3, or you can take it off in the middle. And we took it off in the middle. Here's one growing down, we can cut that over here. Then we have the next one over here. This one grows on top. Then the next one should be at the left side, on the right side, here, and this looks fine. Then this one starts at the right, then the next one should be here. So these we can cut, this one as well, so we have one on this side. Then the next one should be on this side, so that should be one of these two. We're going to keep that one, and then this one can go. And then when the next one's here, this one can go. And here we can make a decision which one to choose, because we want this in the same shape. So we can cut this one over here, this one over here, and this one over here. Always cut back close to another branch or a bud, because otherwise you will get some dieback. Here as well, these are some dead branches that we first need to remove, branches that grow on top. This one goes into this one grows down, so this one we can remove, this one grows up. This one grows here, there, next one here, so this one gone. Next one here, 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 and then here. And then check if they're in the same silhouette, and that's fine. Here's the next one, so this one can go. The next one is here, so this one will go. Next one is here, so this one can go. Then we have one growing from down. Cut that as well. So here, here, and then it goes into 2, and we can make these shorter as well. Then here a lot of things died, and this branch is very weak, so this branch we will cut completely to create more air and light into it. So as you can see now, we have cleaned this branch quite nicely. And now we can wire it out and fan them out like the ones that were wired before. So I'll show you how we're going to do that. Try to wire not more than to wire not more. Try to wire with not more than 2 wires on a branch. When you wire always follow the main wire that you started with. And make your anchor point like that. So now the more important branches are wired, and now we can start by giving these branches shape. What we need to do is, when we have to follow the line of the main branch, and then we can fan these out and give them all more or less the same movement. Some are too long and I can only cut them back when they're a little bit more healthy. And not only that, when they get new buds, and then I can cut them back where the new buds are. I'm going to make 2 foliage cloud out of them. I'm going to make one here with these 2 and one over here. So this one will go like this. Okay. This one will go over here. So when they start to get stronger, we can make them shorter. As you can see, they are fanned nicely, growing to the light and growing out. So here's one branch that we're going to remove because all the other ones are more are smaller, and we need to create a taper. And we have one that's going into the same direction, and we have one over here that we can bring lower, so we will not have a minor hole, so, or we will not create an open space. So what we will do is we will remove this branch
And as you can see, we created more taper and we'll create more space into there. So here we're starting to get close to the apex. Here we created some multiple apexes of several other trees, but here we're going to have two as well. For me that would be a little bit too much. These are some nice branches that can hang down. So what we will do is we're going to cut this one. And in future these one need to grow out a little bit more, and this one is too dominant, so this one we will cut back as well, so we can create a nice apex over here. So now I will wire that one and then we will be finished for today for this tree. As you can see, this is the end result. What we need to do is in future when the buds are going to burst, we can pinch them, or we can wait until they're 5 centimeters long and we cut them back until 1 or 2 new buds. So what we need to do with this one, we now open it up and stuff like that. And we need to keep this foliage clouds quite open and clean. So what my customer has to do is she needs to pinch the needles, the old needles from far when they starting to get brown. But also what they need to do is when you have your branch, the things that are growing down, they need to cut back, and the ones that are growing up, they need to cut back a little bit so you get that volume in it. So it's still quite long at some branches, but I couldn't remove too many and we had to keep these healthy young shoots. So what we will do now is we are going to clean all the old needles up, because this will give some fungus. Then you see here that at some places the keto was a little bit removed or burst into. So we're going to add some keto to it and some moss as well. So we're done with the styling. We made 2 apexes on this one tree and 2 apexes over there. Why? Because we wanted to make 2 fronts, because if you see the lines of the trees, it's possible to have this one as the front and the other one as the front as well. So we opened everything up, so everything looks nice and beautiful again. Now it's time so air and light can get into it and we can have some good growth. So when the bud will burst, we can leave it to grow like this, and we can cut them back to 1 or 2 new buds. Or we can, when they flush, the bud starts to break, we can pinch them. So that's the technique, and then we will develop nice and full foliage clouds, and we will get new back buds, and the tree will be as before again. So the thing what we need to do now is, here we have some cracks of the keto or the muck. What we're going to do is we're going to make keto, as you can see in our bowls. So first we need to squeeze them. We need to squeeze them very flat, so all the hard bits are out of it. And then we can add some dusty akadama with it, and then some sphagnum moss and water. And then we have to paste it on the gaps everywhere, and then we can apply the moss. Rubbed it in with the keto mix. We collected quite a lot of moss. The really flat ones, what we now are going to do is to cut it a little bit flatter And here at the base there is still a lot of moss and lichen that are quite nice. So we will only put it in the spot where we need it. And as well, we want to add darker bits close to the trunks and stuff like that, because normally there's where the shade is as well, and the larger bits are going more to or closer to the rest outside where the sun shines more. So what we need to do is we need to water them quite wet, and then we can attach them on the spots that we need to.